Here it is, 1988 E28 M5. Picked this up in August last year, just really haven't had the time to get around putting a video together for it. Pretty cool example, pretty much the only one that I could afford. Wasn't really looking for an E28 M5, but they've been on my bucket list as one of those things where, if I win the lottery, I could afford to buy one type deal. This one though has a little bit of a history, at least on the interwebs, more recently as being a very high mileage example that was for sale for quite a while. I want to say 4 months, maybe 6 months. Seller slowly lowering the price. It was for sale down in Georgia for those that may have seen it listed at one time or another. But I struck a deal with him and flew down with my best friend Norb, and him and I drove it back up. He made a video, and I'll put the link in the description to that video. Pretty cool, pretty fun, and I would say super lucky that we are able to make it back without any kind of real issues. Especially since the end of last year, the miles that I did put on it were certainly fun, but not entirely carefree. I did some maintenance on it and some other work. Also had a few minor issues with some crank but no start stuff, and that's actually what I'm still dealing with. As you can see, there's the DME and some relays and wiring, and then the glove box that's dropped down because we're currently not able to start the car in its storage location here. Lo and behold, it cranks, but it won't start. I've already started diagnosing it, and I'll get into that in, I think, a separate video or maybe later on in this one, depending on how quickly I stitch things together, or we'll see. But just for reference about those high miles, here we are. I bought it with pretty much 320. It was 319, 900 something. Rolled 320 on the way home with it from Georgia. But honestly, the miles mean nothing because this car has had so much money dumped into it mechanically. The maintenance record file that I have is literally this thick, maybe even a little more. There's just a ton of maintenance records for this, including a lot of stuff that was done. The owner prior to the guy I bought it from was restoring this car, and he put a ton of money into this car. Engine is fully rebuilt from the ground up and is in pretty good shape cosmetically as well. There's the S38 B35 for the nerds out there. Full rebuild, pistons, rings, the head was rebuilt. Obviously all new gaskets and bearings, etc. Throttle bodies all cleaned, and basically every O-ring and gasket replaced with receipts. The guy had a couple of shops do all this work, which, man, the bills that are in there, the dollars that added up is just crazy. I could never imagine spending that kind of money, but that's just because I don't have that kind of money. So I do everything myself and try to learn along the way, and then hopefully pass some of that knowledge on to you guys as well. So I'll probably make some videos on this car with things that I'm finding and repairing along the way. Sure, there's already a decent number of DIY videos out there for these cars, but I'll probably add a few things here or there, at least if it's interesting. But definitely super happy with this purchase. For the money I paid, for all the work that's been done, all the new parts that are on it, I mean, the self-leveling suspension was completely replaced and rebuilt while that guy was restoring the engine and like half the rest of the car. So it rides super nice. It's tight. It has good brakes, good tires. I mean, yeah, it needs some work, odds and ends, and tinkering with this ongoing hopefully minor electrical issue with getting power. But like I said, I'll get into that separately, but definitely a well worthy purchase. And as long as I can afford it, probably will never sell this just because I'll never be able to replace it or get the value out of it to get another one that's in this good a shape. Just really, really happy with it. Like I said, definitely some work to be done. I'm gonna take most, if not all, the tints off the windows. They're too dark for me, and they actually do draw attention. I did get pulled over one time so far in it, and did not get any tickets for, loud exhaust and tints and who knows what else he may have found. But I don't like that kind of attention. That's why I like M5s, because they typically do not draw attention. Anyways, gonna look into getting this thing going for the year, come up with a list of work that I want to get done on it. But in the meantime, like I said, I would check out Norb's video. It's pretty cool from our journey back, and the link for that will be in the description for this video. More to follow.